Hey you guys, so this is going to be a video where I'm showing what I'm shipping in to check out my cards, so I can add to my account and they can do all the reselling for me. In some of the past videos I showed the pickups I got at the National around $1,001 cards, as long as some other stuff as well. So some of that stuff is going to go out in here in this shipment. And to send these out, I use a priority box. It's the medium flat rate box, and I think that's around $20. And I'll try to get in maybe 1,000 cards or so. You know, it's kind of limited on how much you can send, but generally I try to send around 1,000 anytime I send in to check out my cards. This might be a little smaller because I have some like the thicker cards that I'll show you here. But so let's get started. This, I might be able to get all this into 15 minutes, but we'll see. So when I'm looking at stuff to send in to check out my cards, you have to look for more unusual things. And okay, this is a 1971 Tops Bud Harrelson, but a lot of people don't realize Nolan Ryan is on this card, so it's worth more than just your average Bud Harrelson card. Pedro Barbone, 1971 Tops. He's a Reds pitcher, and it's a higher number, so higher numbers do really well on Check Out My Cards. Okay, so I'm talking specifically about what sells on Check Out My Cards. So all these are going, and you know, when you are looking through a box at a show, maybe you have a quarter box or something, okay, look for high numbers. And high numbers do really well because they're short printed. So, you know, there's another Bud Harrelson, Mel Stadlemire. So I know I probably paid, you know, a quarter a piece for those. This one Kobayashi, those Ginter type cards tend to do pretty well. I know that's going for, you know, a good amount, maybe $5 or $10 or something, but it's something I had in my collection that's sitting in a box. So I went through all the stuff I had and pulled up stuff that I thought, you know, maybe it's worth something on Check Out My Cards. The majority of it I'm not going to pull out, but stuff that might be worth something, like say these Ginter, these Manny Pacquiao Ginters, they were going for $100. Well, I had like 3 or 4 of those. So I sent them all in to check out my cards, and they all sold. All of them sold, like between $75 and $100. Well, I had them in a box, and I know I paid like 25 cents a piece for them at one point, but they just like went up crazy in value. So you guys might have stuff sitting in boxes at home that is worth something you're not doing anything with. You know, you might as well, you could either send a bunch of cards in to check out my cards, or you could maybe just sell them individually at eBay, but it's going to take you more time, you know, and you're going to, it depends on what you do. I'll get into that further on, but right now I'm just going through cards. So 65 Tops, Mel Stadlemire, this is a high number as well. He's a Yankee, so he's, you know, that's probably a $15 card or something. So 68 Tops, I went through this in a previous video, but 68 Tops Tigers, they won the World Series that year, so they're going to go for more. Just some, these are not typical cards people have, although, you know, you can find them, but this specific Heisman set was more short printed. So these Heisman cards are more difficult to find. I think this is the second series, so it's harder to find. And, you know, Niall Kinnick here. So these are all popular players from the past, and these are harder to find than the first series. So the first series like has Bo Jackson in it. The Bo is really not worth much, but these, I think I get around 4 or 5 a piece for these. And these are, again, these are all cards I just had in boxes. They're not doing anything for me, you know, and it's hard for me to sit on eBay when I have so much other stuff that I can sell, and this isn't really the stuff I sell on eBay anyways. It's easier for me to just go into ComC and throw them on there and have them do the work for me. Yeah, you got to pay. Right now it's 50 cents a card, so you got to factor that in. Say I get $5 for this now Kinnick, it's going to cost me 50 cents to send. Plus, you if you want to factor in the shipping, maybe a couple of cents added onto that, plus the 5% they're going to take, plus I guess that's it. I mean, if I want to cash out, I got to take another 10% off. So in ComC, I don't want to get into too much detail here, but I'll tell you how I manage that in the next video. These are just ones I'm sending in. So like Star Basketball, those do well. This is a high number Tops card, team card. It's not checked or anything. That's probably a $30 or $40 card. These do well. These are action-packed gold carat cards. Some vintage stuff. Just unusual stuff. Unusual stuff that you don't see. That there's this Garth Brooks. There's not 200 of these Garth Brooks on there. Maybe there's a handful of these on there, but it's a unique card and it's a cool looking card, and they're not real easy to find. So you're gonna stuff like this is gonna sell. Like this Trout card is not a great card. There's probably several on there, but I went through all these cards. I looked up all these cards previously to see which each one was worth. Yeah, it's time consuming, but is it worth me to send a card in? This must go for a couple bucks, $2 or $3 or $4. Otherwise, I'm not going to send it. Is it worth me sending, not looking up the card, and maybe this card only goes for 60 cents? Okay, so I'm going to lose money on it or break even at best. It's not worth my time. So it's worth my time to go on and look up each individual card that I pull out. Now I know like the majority of what I have is not going to be worth sending. So I'm only going to pick out stuff that I think might be worth sending. Okay, in the superhero cards, I might have to reevaluate some of these. I mean, I'm sure Wolverine does well, but these were super hot during, 6 months ago. They were going for a ton of money, and now like a bunch of people sent them in and they went way down in value. So that's the other thing you have to realize, like something might get hot and a specific player or something is super hot and the values are going way up, but by the time you get them there, the values might have crashed. So honestly, these might not be worth sending. I went through these cards about a month ago and I just wanted to add some more stuff to it. But like play ball cards, the vintage stuff, you're going to do well on these. If you can find these cheap, these were all on a lot. I don't remember what I paid, but probably just $2 or $3 a piece, 3, 4 maybe. And they're in pretty decent shape and they're play ball, like there's not a ton of these on that you can find to buy, so they're going to do fine. And once I get all these processed, I'll show a video on how I price them as well. So Dan Quisenberry, these are old minor league cards of like good major league players. They do well. I know there's not going to be many of these kind of cards on there. All right, so and then we got like a Lebron. I think that's his second year, and some basketball. Those are going to do well. Those will sell. And just I don't have the time to try to sell each one of these individually when I have so much stuff that I can put on eBay already. You got to like, yeah, maybe I can get a little more on eBay selling those play ball cards or whatever, but I just can't like spend all the time I have, when I have so much other stuff I can list. And like these, I know these are a bunch of Juan Gonzalez cards, the certified autographs. Those will do well. And the other thing is like, you'll have comparables on Check Out My Cards that, okay, there's going to be another one of these on there, so you'll just price it a little lower. So maybe it goes for 25, you're going to price it at 24 or something, and there's a high probability that it's going to sell on there. And then I don't have any idea what year card this is, what it is, all that kind of stuff. It's numbered. They do all that work for you. They put all that information in for you, and for me to sit there and try to figure out what this is. I have no idea. It's a Tops triple thread, I guess, what year or whatever, all the numbers and everything that go along with it. I don't know. It's going to take me a while to list that. Where other stuff I have a much better idea of. And again, I talked about having a niche market. Well, I deal with autographs, and they're ComC isn't going to take the stuff that I sell on eBay. So some more vintage stuff. And again, I looked these up. All these cards I looked up. I bought a lot of these fire truck cards. These are 1953 Bowman. I went through and looked up all these cards. You'll just type in, 1953 Bowman, fire, and the number, and then it'll come up and you'll see like how many will sell. That's a unique card there, as you can tell, and that sells. Like stuff like that, you won't think anything of it if you don't look at it, but it might be a $5 card, I don't know. But and then some autographs, like just kind of random players, they'll sell for $2 or $3 or $4 a piece, but they're all stuff that I would have gotten in a lot, and I just don't want to have to try to sell them myself individually. This will sell, I know that. So just some random autographs. And again, like the Tops cards that are higher numbers, 64 Tops Mets, high number, some Tiger Woods cards. More, I think these will do okay since they're Spider-Man and Black Panther, high number Tops. Like low number inserts out of 50, out of 150. And again, I don't know any idea what these cards are, what year or anything. So I don't want to really take the time to look at them and sell them for $3. I'll just take the credit on ComC. Tops Tiffany, 85 Tops. Tiffany cards really do well, especially the 85 Tops. So I have a bunch of Tiffany's that I will send in. 69 Tops Mets. The Mets won in 69, so those do well. This card is a higher number. Okay, some more Mets, high numbers and stuff. More of the superheroes, which I should probably look up. Some vintage stuff. Star basketball. Now we're getting into the stuff that I got at the National. Some of these star cards are short printed. So this one's probably a $15 card. Paid $1 for it. I know I paid like $1 for that, but I'll get 10 out of it. These Tops gold. There's a Tops Tiffany 85. That's probably a $30 card. I paid $1 for. This card is like a $50 card. Even it's not mint, but I think I'll get around $40-50 for it. So that was $1. All these cards are probably around $5 a piece, and I paid $1 each for it. There's more of the Heisman cards, and we're gonna have to probably cut this video off here. So these are pretty nice Paul Goldschmidt cards. More Juan Gonzalez. Tops Magic football, college football. Higher number Billy Williams. That's worth a good amount. Here's a Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin, that's autographed, pro line, certified. These wrestling cards do well. So I'll shut this off now. I got another box. I'll make another video here to show you guys what else I have, so stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.